You cannot have higher standards than me when you have watched all 14 of the goddamn Puppet Master movies. I'm sorry, you just
Right.
can't.
Right.
Okay, calm down. There's 10 of them.
Well,
It would just feel like 14 if I tried to watch them. It would feel like 100. It would feel like a never-ending Sisyphean task of watching Puppet Master movies.
But we gotta get you on Chucky first.
Yeah,
like.
No, the Chucky series is actually good. I wouldn't subject you to the Puppet Master movie. Okay, so I was looking up to see if Randy was over or underselling it with 14. There's 15. There's 15 Puppet Master movies. If you include the reboot, The Littlest Reich, and all of that.
Oh, if you include the reboot, and yeah, okay.
There will be a 16th movie that filmed this year, actually, called Puppet Master Furnace Leech Woman.
Well, I'm glad the strike didn't affect the fucking Leech Woman. God preserve us that the Leech Woman was not one of the things that was caught to the wayside because of the fucking strike.
Oh man.
Is it too late to strike some more?
Only to get rid of the Leech Woman.
Yes.
Episode 466 of the TV Views. Best of 2023, Part 2. Welcome back to Top 2, our Best of 2023. We'll be talking about our contenders that didn't make the official Top 20 list, and then counting down our Top 10. Before we get to that, I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. All right, so let's start off by talking about our contenders, which in my mind are our personal top 20 stuff that didn't make the list, and then we could throw a couple other, just a quick list of other stuff we want to. But I think each of us have like 4 or 5 shows that made our personal top 20 but did not make the TV Dudes top 20. Do we want to go back and forth? Is that probably the fairest way to do it?
Sure. I don't have as many as
all right.
You guys, but
y'all have your list in front of you, or want me to call them out?
I've got it in front of me.
Okay, all right. Nick, you want to start? Why don't you start with your what's on your 20 on your top 20 list?
Sure. So I think I wanted to start off with a show that technically is not finished, but it will finish in this year, so it won't be eligible for next year, and we should probably give it its due. I watched almost like 9 episodes of the new season of Rick and Morty, and I thought coming back with Justin Roiland was without Justin Roiland, I should say.
Yeah.
It came back pretty much as strong as ever. I feel like there is a little bit of a different, like a shift change in how the show feels.
20% less ADHD and maybe harassment.
Yeah, there's some stars I could disagree with, like say Evil Morty comes back, and they show what it looks like on the Infinite Curve where he went, where Rick isn't the smartest person in the universe, and they show chaos. Like there's a bunch of different portals, a bunch of people, different people invent time travel, and it's just chaos. And I don't like the insinuation that Rick is a stabilizing force.
Right, I get that.
Thank God Rick isolated all the time the universes where he's the smartest man in the universe.
That makes the sum total of the show that thank God for this fascist dickbag.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So I don't like that, but the rest of the but that's the opening of the episode, and the rest of the episode is about them teaming up to fight Rick Prime with Evil Morty. And Evil Morty is one of the better characters they've ever come up with, I think. As far as his level of done with Rick is, it's all, you're cute, you're the smartest man in the world, shut up, whatever you need to hear, man.
I loved where they left him on the other side of the curve so much. Like that was such a satisfying ending for that character for me that I'm really sad that they ever fucked with it again. It feels like a Gas Leak season thing to do. Like, did they kick Harmon off Rick and Morty for a minute?
That's what my initial reaction was, and then I'm like, actually ended up liking where they went with it. In the fact, like, hey, don't touch, like Rick's like, hey, don't touch my shit, Evil Morty. Why would I? I don't want to improve it, because he's as smart, if not smarter, than Rick, which is a great take for this Morty. Like what the evil Rick Prime tries to, like, hey, look, I never got into the sidekick thing, but maybe we could team up, like Batman and Robin. And Evil Morty's like, I don't need a Robin, and just fucking wastes him.
That's great.
And it's a great giving Morty power, even just a Morty power, I think is an interesting dynamic. But also, there's a couple different. You'll notice in this season, there's a lot of like this episode has a lot of mentions and talks of suicide. So
I'm at least a season, maybe 2 seasons behind Rick and Morty. I think I kind of fell off of it because they're so fucking hard to find.
yeah, well, they're all on Hulu now, but it takes a
now
year.
they're on Hulu. I may 2024 when we have a lighter TV schedule. I may try to catch up on some of that stuff. On my number 20 on my list is Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I thought had a phenomenal final season. Was very much about they kind of jumped around in time to show Maisel as like a in the 80s. I think it was maybe it's in the 60s, but it's sort of modern day where she's older and she is like, oh no, it is the 80s because of course, you know, the thing takes place in the 60s. But basically she's an older comedian. She is sort of like the Joan Rivers of her day. She's done a talk show.
That makes sense.
She's an icon of comedy at this point. And she and Susie had a big falling out.
Right.
And so we get to see how that happened. And then the way they brought it all together at the end, and gave everybody sort of a good ending, I thought was really well done. I am a sucker for jumping forward in time and showing me where the characters end up. And I thought this was a particularly well done version of that, as well as just being a satisfying finale for a show that I never looked forward to. I was never like, "Oh, Mrs. Maisel is back," and then every time I started watching it, I fell back in love with it every time. It's just so well done. And I am not what you call a huge fan of who's the showrunner? She did Gilmore Girls.
Amy Sherman Palladino. Yeah.
Amy Sherman Palladino and Daniel Palladino. I like them fine. Their particular Sorkin-esque banter doesn't always work for me, but Mrs. Maisel I think is my favorite thing that they've done. And yeah, I wound up really liking that. Les, I think you're number 20 there.
Yeah. I had first on my list here was Night Court because of course it was, but the show I want to talk about though it really should be that there's no fair way to make that a contender. I just love Night Court.
Just because I can. Using my power as a judge.
Physical 100 it was a contender for me because Nick and I were discussing, similar to Hyperdrive a couple of years ago, I should hate everything about this show and somehow ended up fascinated and not from a jackass way where like I hate these dudes but they'll get hurt in a minute. And like this was I was really shocked that I liked the format of the show. I liked the way they winnowed it down. I ended up really getting into some of the storylines and the genuine like these were nerds for sport. It was like recognizing like, oh my god, you guys are like looking at mathletes, only you're real athletes.
Man, I think for me this reminded me of every jock that ever shoved me in a locker, metaphorically speaking.
Right.
And so I just could not give a shit what happened to them.
I think maybe the Asianness of it kept it from looking like any jock who'd ever fucked with me. If they looked like the older brother from Home Alone, we might have had a problem.
Yeah, I could not. I tried. I could not plug into this. I'm glad that y'all dug it.
But yeah, I was mostly it made my list because when I went back over the stuff of the year, I was like, what the like? What? I can't believe that show hit me that enjoyably. We tore through it. Yeah.
All right, let's round robin this thing. Les, why don't you give us your next one too, and then we'll go back to me, and then go back to Nick.
Got it. My next one is a show that took me forever to get into. I mostly blame Randy for never bringing it up once. Ghosts, the U.S. version. I understand the U.K. version is airing right now, and I am doing the exact same thing again. I have not learned a lesson. I refuse to learn a lesson. I'm going to wait 3 years and watch the Ghost UK version, and then be mad.
Yeah.
But Ghost US
love this
is
show.
Look, he has a system.
I loved it. Yeah.
Season 2 is great. It's really good. I'm not sure why, for whatever reason, it's not even on my top. Like it might be in the bottom of my top 40, but it didn't quite make my list for whatever reason. Even though I really liked it, I just didn't like it as much as I liked a bunch of other.
It's
stuff.
another one that just
it's great.
The guy that played Flex Mantello on Doom Patrol is great as Thorfinn.
Yes.
And the whole bit with his son is hilarious. But
Thorfinn is the secret weapon of the show.
Well, my favorite thing on the show is whenever they pull the joke of the fact that the husband can't hear any of it.
Yes.
So they'll remember it's like a writer's bit. Like they remember to clue him in at the start of the conversation, and then they'll run off on like a whole thing. They'll make a plan. Everybody will leave the room, and he's left standing there alone, going, "So did anything happen with that? Was that a good?"
Yeah, yeah. And I love that guy too. He was in Free Guy, and he's been in a couple
Oh,
other
that's
things.
right. Yeah. No,
And
he's perfect here.
He's great. Yeah.
So yeah, Ghost US.
My number 18 on my list is, of course, y'all know my big love for anime. And so
Thought we weren't telling people.
Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix was a latecomer, but I tore through this and I loved it.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
What? Yeah, Nick just out of the blue was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I did not expect to
Randy's
like it.
got Blue
I had a
Eyed
bunch
Samurai.
of friends posting about it, and I started watching it because my friends watched it, and I thought the first episode was solid, but I wasn't like in love with it. And then by the time I got to the end, the story really works. The voice cast is astounding. The action sequences, I think, are done with motion capture. I think I saw behind the scenes on that, but the action scenes in this are stunning. This is set in Edo period Japan, when basically the whole premise of it is they're like four white men in Japan, and they're all in isolation because anyone with any kind of white features with like blue eyes is considered to be not just like racist, but it's like they're like demons. Like they are there to be killed. And so our lead character is a character with blue eyes who hides that fact for the most of it, because one of their fathers is one of these white men, and they are on a quest to kill the four white men because one of them basically took advantage of their mother. And that's the premise. And it feels like Kill Bill to me a little bit. Even they use Battle Without Honor and Humanity as a song at one point.
Okay.
But the kid falls in with a blind sword maker and learns to make swords. Then he teaches himself to be a samurai, watching other samurai, and he goes around being a badass. He's got a sidekick who's like he congenitally has no hands, and he's like this sweet ramen making kid who follows him. It is a great cast of characters. It's a really interesting story. There's no magic. There's no, like, the fight scenes are over the top, but there's no magic. There's not even like wushu or anything like that. It is just a period piece with the premise being that, hey, being half white in this nation is a bad thing, and this character is going about trying to punish the person who put him into this world. It's really good. I mean,
a boy named Sue,
spectacular.
But
yes,
samurai. Got it.
Yeah. It's great.
I'm gonna kill this son of a bitch who gave me blue eyes.
I am super excited to see season 2 of it, which they just announced. So yeah, this sits up there with One Piece as like the holy shit, I can't believe I watched this. I can't believe I loved it. Nick, you've also got a Netflix anime on your list.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I'm actually surprised didn't make it to the TV Dudes Top 20. I know we all ended up liking it. I know Randy had to be convinced a little bit, but Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. I thought that this coming back with with all the original voice cast, I think maybe the only mistake that this show makes is in the marketing, really, is that the bait and switch of making you think that it was going to be like an honest retelling of like the manga that the movie kind of only was, and I'm like, oh nope, it's its own completely own different thing, ditching Scott for quite a significant portion in the beginning.
Yeah.
To focus on Ramona.
It works. The marketing is the most puzzling to me about it, but it's still my least favorite version of the Scott Pilgrim story, but it's really good.
It's currently my favorite version of the story.
I think it's my favorite version. I've not read the manga. The comic.
Yeah.
But I have. Its ending is weird.
I really this fixed everything true. That I loved the Spot Pilgrim. I loved the Scott Pilgrim movie. Spot Pilgrim.
Spot Pilgrim.
Spot Pilgrim. That's the name of his Nega Scott. That's the Scott.
He's a smug juggler. So I loved the movie, but Scott's such a dick, and there's a lot about it that I felt kind of cringy 90s edgelordy.
Yeah.
And this like went at it head on. Like it didn't fix it by ignoring it or changing it. It literally time travel fixed it. And really got a kick out of this.
It fixes the problems I both have with both other versions, which is the ending. The manga ending is rushed and feels not as well thought out as the rest of the comics. And the movie ending is basically a happy ending, and we ride off into the sunset. And I'm like, okay, I feel like neither of you are still you're on your journey to be mature enough for this relationship, but you're not there yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This could have easily been in mine.
Nick, what's also on your list?
I also I switched it off from here because I don't know, I felt like it was a return and it wasn't exactly everything I wanted from the return, but Justified Primeval was a heavy contender in there for a while. And honestly, that was just because I love Justified so much when it was airing. It was one of my favorite shows at the time.
Yeah.
I maintain that Justified, even through its later seasons, was still very good. Like its prime was season 2 to 3, I think, was probably like my favorite seasons of that. But I don't think it ever got it never really got bad. Like
it was always good, and the comeback was good. I feel like it was a little scattered. I don't know why his daughter was there.
Yeah, there's some elements that are scattered there that aren't. I don't know exactly what they're there because the writers feel like we need to hit that Willow storyline, I think.
Yeah,
and it's cute that it's his actual daughter. That's cute and everything, but one episode, like, she should be done after one episode, right?
Yeah, the way they used her, I didn't think was very good. But once they focused in on him and Boyd,
holy shit, Boyd Holbrook.
That
like bringing it back so Boyd Holbrook can be in part of this universe was like, oh, he was born to be a Justified character.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Well, I guess what I really want is I want this team to do more Elmore Leonard books and not do Raylan Givens, because they've got the vibe of Elmore Leonard books perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like if anything, Raylan's story is told, and I kind of didn't need to see more of Raylan. Even though I love Timothy Olyphant, I thought he did great here. I would have preferred this to have been a straight adaptation of City Primeval and to have introduced a new to do the Raymond, whoever the detective is, Raymond Carver, I think, to bring that character, get somebody to play that character and do a few seasons of that guy. But I know that Justified was the branding, that's just
the two endings. I don't know if I would do both of them, but they were both pretty good as far as Boyd being teased at for another thing. But I also like ending it here with Raylan's first in his mind, unjustified shooting.
Right.
Like that shooting to him was not justified. It was a mistake.
Right.
And I think
that's
the name of the show. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. On my list, I'm kind of surprised this wasn't on y'all's list, is the final season of Sex Education.
Oh, because I didn't like that final season.
I did not like the final season nearly as much.
Okay.
I really thought the high school was weird and obnoxious.
No, that college, whatever they go to, is kind of annoying.
Yeah. They did basically create an entirely new cast and ditch characters I liked, and that was too bad. But I thought they were
Otis's entire thing about being the original, I hated that.
Oh, he's a dick about it at first. But they pay that off, I think, well enough. But I think Sex Education final season had some flaws. But I think for me, they went at the trans issues in a way that they really hadn't addressed them to that point yet, and I thought that was really well done. And I thought finally getting Maeve to meet his mom, I thought was really, really enjoyable. I thought that was really good. There's moments in this that I think really worked. I do think it's not the best season of Sex Education, but I was reminded again how much I liked the show.
I thought,
and I was pretty happy.
I thought season 3 had some flaws, but was overall good. And I didn't even finish that season. I thought
Oh, wow.
I thought this season was the first one. I'm like, no, I think Sex Education is bad now. I think this is pretty shitty writing.
Fortunately, it's done, so you don't have to watch it anymore.
Yep, he's Dr. Who now.
I was very pleased with this. Les?
Let's see. One of the ones that I know wasn't on anybody's list. I don't think anyone else watched this show. Full Monty had a TV show version with most of the original cast coming back and picking it up now with them now, and it is an absolute like gem of a little show. I mean, it's kind of like the movie, like it's got an indie movie vibe. The shittiness of living in this factory town, dashed dreams kind of stuff. It snuck up on me, tore through it, just starting it. If you're stuck in what I assume is about to be a weird lull in content, seriously, go look up the Full Monty TV show. Shockingly beautifully done. Yeah.
I've never seen the movie, so
have you not?
No,
It's cute
entirely. Yeah. Okay.
The show. So that response about the movie, like, I don't know, I remember the movie fondly. It's cute. Did not prepare me for like how well done I felt the show was.
Oh, okay. Jumping back through me, I think Only Murders in the Building season 3 is weaker than the previous 2 seasons. I do feel like they, I mean, I kind of want it to end because once it ends, like Steve Martin's going to retire, and that'd be a shame. But they they had like Paul Rudd's in this, and uh, Meryl Streep is in this. Like, it's a great cast. They found their niche. It's not as satisfying a mystery this time. You're starting to strain your credibility how many murders these guys are involved in, and no matter how much they call attention to it, it's still straining credibility. But watching these guys bounce off of each other and watching them bring in people like Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep to work with these legends and Selena Gomez, who stands with these legends somehow and is great. That works for me, and I will be if they do a season 4, I will happily watch the season 4, even though I know it's going to be hitting those diminishing returns.
Yeah, I didn't finish that season. I mean, I didn't finish the previous season either until we started the 3rd season. I was like, oh, I'll catch up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely good.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's one of these. It's good. There's good people in it, but it's not hitting the heights. They probably should have done 2 great seasons and ended it.
I think what frustrated me was that the 3 characters, even in this season, it feels like they have spats that could like, well, I guess maybe we don't have to be friends anymore. And I'm like, what? Shouldn't you all like? You're not newly minted friends. You've known each other for a while now.
Yeah, I agree. They overplayed that for sure.
Like maybe not Brooklyn Nine-Nine level of like we've known each other for nearly a decade, but you should be past the growing pains of friendship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
But Martin Short is always a
really
fucking delight.
Yeah, Martin Short's always great. Steve Martin's always great. Like, yeah. Nick, what about you?
I also wanted to bring attention to a much more less than me type show, but still very fun. Twisted Metal. I thought Twisted Metal really.
I came around on this.
Yeah, and you even like it's another one like just like Scott Pilgrim. Like you ended up finishing it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
And like when you saw the whole thing of where it was going, like it actually, I don't know. I've seen a lot of shows try and do this, and it like I think you and me were like, why is it? Because Mortal Kombat does the same thing. It's the prequel to the Twisted Metal tournament.
Yeah,
and Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat does it and ruin it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have some Mortal Kombat in your Mortal Kombat, but Twisted Metal it works because they're building a strong foundation, and they just announced they're doing the season 2.
Oh yeah,
makes season 1 better in retrospect.
No, because I was stunned that at the end of it, I started the show giving barely any shits and finished it going, well, shit. Now I want season 2. Like now I want to see the Twisted Metal tournament. I've never played the game.
Well, and they have it's a fun universe. It's a post-apocalyptic, but it's fun. It's brighter. Yeah. It's brighter. It's funner. If Mortal Kombat basically made me care about those characters, maybe I wouldn't care that there wasn't actually a tournament in it. Like now the next tournament, like, oh shit, now the tournament can have people I actually already care about. They don't have to do the work of like
there'll be stakes.
Yeah, have there be stakes to the actual like it's actually kind of retroactively it feels smart. Like, oh, now it feels smart when you do it right. But but when I'm sure the Mortal Kombat people also thought, oh, this is genius. That's why the next movie.
I see why I thought you were dumb. You did it badly.
Yes. I did it bad.
That's it. That's all it is. All right, Nick, what's your next pick there?
It's kind of a two for. It's like it's on. Like there's two shows that are on channels that no one can basically get.
Yes.
But one was like I really enjoyed Rogue Heroes this year.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's good. That's an epic show, right?
Yes.
Both epic shows?
Yes, they're both epic shows.
Rogue Heroes is fantastic, and I believe has a season 2.
Rogue's Heroes is like what you want from like an extra credits, extra history YouTube channel like thing, but with an actual story and people behind it.
Okay.
And
coming next year, season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently people have Epix and they watch it. So I like, who knew?
Maybe one of the real networks is going to get Star for content next year. And I'll actually get to watch these shows. The Prime or Hulu or someone will buy this.
No, it's gonna get quibbied up.
And then also this year, From had its second season, and while I think its second season also had a little bit of a we're treading water, like they had a whole new villain this season, like with the fucking bugs or whatever it was.
Man, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're treading water a little bit here, but honestly, it's one of the only mystery shows like left that is even doing anything close to like that mystery, why did I should have said, like, I wanted to say Happy Town before I said Lost, and that's only because of Les.
Talking about shows that nobody's watched.
No, but it's like, as far as me and Les are obsessed with watching every episode and just like coming up with theories and like, oh man, I wonder if it's like this, or like is it some sort of like a Crossroads demon deal? Like I like what the
yeah, it makes me feel young, like I'm looking at his symbols in the hatch.
Is it redneck aliens like Les always pitches?
It's not my fault they got MC Gainey to do the only voice of them we've heard. Nick's like, why do you like, because the only one I've heard sounded like this. Yeah. You might want to tell your wife to put them French fried taters down.
I like what I watched it from, but I've got to hear from y'all that it ended well before I'll watch any more of it. Well, I've been burned.
I don't mean to be. I noticed also, Randy, that you said Blue-Eyed Samurai, like, oh, well, a couple of my friends recommended it. I'm like, well, we're a couple of your friends, and we recommend shit all the time. That doesn't fucking mean shit. What the fuck?
Friends who haven't burnt their repul bridges down.
Our fucking credibility, I guess.
Friends who have not watched a dozen Puppet Master movies. That's
friends who have perspective. Oh well, la dee da.
On my list, not shocked this on y'all's, although I did definitely love this season. Star Trek Strange New World Season 2. I thought it started a little weak, but by the end of it, I mean, honestly, it would go in my top 10 for the musical episode alone.
Look, man, it ain't on my list, but I can say it better than Discovery, at least. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I like Discovery too, but Discovery's a mess. That said, I'm excited to have the final season of Discovery. This is coming up for 2024. It's not the Star Trek that made the top TVD's official list, which people will not be surprised the one that did. But I really love Strange New World Season 2. I like what they're doing with this. It is probably my favorite Star Trek show outside of Deep Space Nine. And the second half of it, I thought they really came on strong. And like I say, if it had only been the musical episode, I would have loved it for just that. Because I thought that was maybe the best musical episode done on TV. It's possibly better than the Buffy musical to me.
Holy shit! Wow. Okay.
So I wound up loving it.
Not
for that
many
result,
pull out the else. Once more with feeling comparison.
Yeah, I mean, because it's very much like they looked at Once More with feeling like, let's do this but for Star Trek, and I think they did.
How much of that is the Klingon Korean pop?
Okay, yes, that's 2 points on the 10-point scale right there.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
100%. Yeah. So, all right, Les, what you got?
So next up on my list, Goosebumps, a show that I was not the age to have any particular nostalgia for those books exactly. I never cared about the original show. I mean, I love me a spooky YA show. It's just those weren't my spooky YA books. And Justin Long's having a hell of a career right now. Like, dude's in everything and he's great. Absolutely love this show. This is how Are You Afraid of the Dark YA type horror needs to be done for me. This hit just the right amount of CW-ness, just the right amount of whatever Disney show, and just the right amount of like weird spookiness and like keeping it actually creepy. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Watched it week to week, was overjoyed every time it came out.
Why does your top 10 list taste like watermelon Jolly Rancher?
That is the weirdest part of this whole
weirdest part about this whole list.
Yeah, like it fired on all cylinders. Stuff that stuff that should have bothered me worked the way they did it. I just found myself continually impressed by the show making tiny little right choices for me.
Honestly, I think it's I think the actors and their reactions to the things that happen.
Yeah, it's a good cast of kids. I could
There's a particular tone
them.
that this type of show has to hit, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they ride it expertly with these.
There's a moment where the one adult who was not part of the kid group who set this whole thing in motion on accident, he is like trying to figure out what is going on, like why all the other adults are being super weird. Goes over to one of the other adults' houses, sits the guy down, says something that absolutely changes the plot, and the guy just gets up and leaves. So like this total stranger just sitting at the kitchen table is like, okay, now I feel like it is personal. like there's lots of moments where like in this very silly show, people do exactly the reaction you would have to that shit happening.
Well, the stakes are serious and the things are dangerous. Like Slappy is dangerous.
Yes.
While simultaneously being deeply silly. Just
yes. Yes, but by the end of it, I mean, he's seriously, that plan is insane. He's got most of the town on a fucking pyre, like ready to sacrifice them to a thing. It's nuts and really over the top for a Disney show.
I think Goosebumps is one of those that like next year Halloween, if I'm looking for someone to watch,
oh yeah, throw it on next year for Halloween. It'll be perfect for that.
And yeah, I liked it okay, but it wasn't like I've gotten zero nostalgia for Goosebumps, and it's just one of those. There was other stuff going on. It just kind of fell off my radar.
Yeah.
The other one that I really loved, I went back and watched season 1 this year and realized I was finishing it just as season 2 was starting, was Winning Time, which I should not give any shits about. Kind of like Shoresy. I don't care about hockey.
Yeah.
I don't care about basketball. I don't care about the Lakers.
Man, out of all the things that got fucked by the writer's strike, like
I was gonna say y'all had talked me into this. I was gonna watch it, and then they canceled season 3, and I'm like, well, fuck.
And they didn't just cancel season 3. There's a moment like 2 minutes before the end of the last episode of season 2 where you realize like, oh my god, they're just about to wrap the fucking show up.
I was watching it with you.
No prep for Nick got to watch it in real time where I was like, yeah, but this isn't the series this is definitely the series finale.
I was trying to convince Les. I'm like, Les, I think this is the finale. Am I watching the finale? And Les is like, no, it can't be.
No. Based on the math, I've done all the star charts. It can't be the finale.
I don't know, man. It's feeling like it's about to wrap up pretty hard.
Then literally they slam to like an Animal House like text over it, like where everybody goes, and I'm like, this show started with Magic coming out of the doctor's office, getting into a car and crying because he definitely just got his diagnosis of having HIV.
Right.
And
well, sure, we get to learn about that in the title,
to that
in the text.
Yeah. That's it's so weird because it feels like they told him in time to do that, but they didn't let him like change the show.
Oh my god, that's so added on in post. Like you could so tell it's added on in post.
It hurt. You could tell that somebody cobbled it together. Like,
and then him and Larry Bird became actual best friends after it.
Like it feels like somebody walked in the room and was like, even the person typing the text, you better quit working at midnight. Fingers like pencils down. Fucking finish the show before the strike hits now. But this is the same show that gave me John C. Reilly and Sally Field having like this amazing mother-son like moments. It fucking awesome show. Just rushed ending.
Yeah. If it hadn't been canceled, I would definitely have watched it now. I'm like, I don't need my heart broken again.
It hurts a little.
The other show on my list is Shrinking on Apple TV, which is a lot of the people who did Ted Lasso. And it's got Jason Segel, Harrison Ford in a fantastic TV performance, Jessica Williams.
I remember this show.
I really loved this show. It had moments that were as emotionally affecting to me as Ted Lasso.
Wow. This is written by Roy, right?
He's one of the writers.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember you really liked the show when it came out.
I loved this show.
I saw the first couple of episodes. I at least saw him far enough along to think his getting too involved in his patient's life was going well, and then he gets decked at a soccer game. Was that the first episode? Second episode?
Yeah, that's the first episode. Yeah, I mean, and it does not go well. The whole point of it is like that's not how shrinks are supposed to operate. Like they're doing this thing of like he's had an epiphany because he's trying to come back from the death of his wife, but it's very much about this guy fell apart and he's trying to come back together, and the people in his life are trying to love him even though he's a fucking mess. And it's a darker premise than Ted Lasso, and it's a darker show than Ted Lasso. But I think at its heart, it's got the same. Hey, people are basically good. Everybody's doing their best. Although with Ted Lasso, mostly it works out, and with Shrinking, sometimes it really fucking doesn't.
Was that the start of like this year Harrison Ford showing up in things he actually wanted to be in?
Yeah, man, Harrison Ford playing a curmudgeonly Harrison Ford type actually really, really works. Um, and they involve him in a relationship with Wendy Malick, who I always love, and who apparently is now age appropriate for Harrison Ford, which is a weird thing to think. Um, but yeah, that was it was really, really good. I think it did not, for whatever reason. I think it was on the same time as like Poker Face. It did not break out the way that Ted Lasso did, and I think it's in the same class. So I am hoping when it comes back for season two, if it comes back for season two, uh, that it will get a chance because I really, really enjoyed this. I think it's funny. I think it's sweet. It has that same making the room dusty that Ted Lasso sometimes does for me. Nick, you got any more? Or are you done?
I think that was it for me.
Okay. I just want to mention, I'm done, but I want to mention, I already mentioned a little bit, but Fargo and Barry both are on my list. Barry was a good final season. Fargo, even though they're not even halfway through the season, I think, or maybe just almost halfway, I have faith they're going to stick the landing, and the episodes they've done have been so fucking good that it made my top 20.
Absolutely.
And that's our also rant. So let's get to the main event. Let's get to the top 10.
All right.
The TV News top 10.
What is number 10, Randy?
Number 10 is The Bear. Over on FX, which this is my number 2 show of the year, and it's Les's number 1. And the only reason it's on number 10 is because it wasn't on Nick's list.
I didn't finish it.
Wow,
man, I gotta tell you, it's one of those where Les sits me down and makes me watch one, and that's the only way I'm gonna watch the show apparently. And everyone he makes me watch, I'm like, yeah, that's some of the best television I've ever seen. That if this was a top 20 episodes of the year, the Thanksgiving episode would be fucking almost to the top.
Yeah, the Seven Fishes would be there. Yeah,
seven Fishes and the show right after it are both phenomenal.
I can't really bitch to it because I've not watched Barry at all. Like there's definitely things where I'm like, no, I know it's good.
Yeah,
and I still haven't watched it.
Not just good, be great. And we all have that. We all have those shows where it's like, I know that's great. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah. I don't know what is it with the Bear that it's not like I don't want to watch it. Like if Les is like, I'll put this on. It's not like I didn't like baby daddy feeding his baby, like open up for the bear. But I there's no urgency for me to go and like seek it out and finish it. I feel like
I get that. For me, it's a top level cast. It's such a cool premise, and every episode is just so well executed.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched several episodes just a few days ago, and that's kind of how it rose up actually to the top of my list. I can't believe how tight it is. It's
that ending for this season, where he's trapped in the fridge. Yeah. I really thought, like, even though I still haven't seen, like, again, it's weird. I've seen that episode and then the Seven Fishes episode, and I don't think any other episode. No, I've watched.
You saw a couple others. Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes or whatever. But
wow,
I showed him I thought I showed you the Richie episode too.
Yes, where Richie goes to Shadow. That
Richie episode. Yeah. That Richie episode is killer.
Actually, that Richie episode, which was honest, I'm like, oh, Richie is a character I didn't know I cared this much about. But he comes back. He comes back from that episode, and his moment in the finale where he fucking takes the what do you call that job? The expediter. Fucking finding his wings of how like he takes to it like a duck to like it's watching someone find out what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. They do a needle drop change, like they've already done a needle drop to start the tension of the song, and then they change songs like mid note. Yeah, and when he changes, damn, yeah,
and
I love that.
He's fucking killing it, and even they show that even though what's her name was not doing a like terrible job or whatever, she wasn't.
No, she just wasn't. She wasn't at the level they needed to be the first night of their new restaurant.
Right,
and Richie came in and did it, and to take Richie where he went was really fascinating. And then the Thanksgiving episode that shows why they're all so fucked up. Yeah, was so goddamn good and hard to watch. If you had I have friends who have family like that, and they're like, yeah, I couldn't even I couldn't even watch this.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
even a close a family, extended family like that, and I think if anyone has a family big enough, you have a Bob Odenkirk in your family that is like is sick of this. Like, yeah, we're all but this is this is Thanksgiving. We're gonna hear the same story 7 times. That's
yeah.
like I wanted to
When I love
explain like
in episode 1 when they're asking Oliver Platt to be their partner in it,
Yeah.
there's a mention of like, well, wait, who's Lee? Like, oh, you remember Uncle Lee?
Yeah.
He's not our uncle, and that's like the first time
Yeah.
we've really heard of that character, and then to see him in the Fishes thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's talk number 9. Number 9 on the list is Loki over on Disney Plus. But what I find interesting about number 9 is that it is on y'all's list and not on my top 20. It's just outside my top 20.
Oh wow.
It is weird that I'm the one who didn't have a Marvel show on his
I
top
thought
20
you
this
liked
year.
it more than us.
Wow. Yeah, same.
I did like Loki, but I think it ultimately was a little timey-wimey nonsense for me, and it was elevated by the performances.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But I just watched
Yeah.
3 hours of Doctor Who, so
I feel like wait a minute. I thought like this whole top 20 has been filled with. Well, then Randy came around to our to see things from our because wasn't that our argument like where we argue like it's kind of like it overall works, but it's a little like
it is a little nonsensy. It has a phenomenal ending. It's a great ending for Loki.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The whole Yggdrasil tree and shit. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That's really well done. But honestly, this is in the top 9 for one reason. And that one reason is Obi.
Oh, fucking everything all at once and Loki season 2. Like this guy shows like short round can get it.
Yeah, Ke Huy Quan. We were all deprived of this guy's movies. We should all be forever mad at Hollywood for it. There should be what 20 years of Ke Huy Quan movies that we've seen already.
absolutely.
And we have not. Yeah.
We should edit him into the Dial of Destiny and be like and have like Harrison Ford short round. That is not my name. It was never my name.
No, I'm like I want to see like what movies would he have been in the 80s and 90s and aughts. Like he should have been in a Mission Impossible somewhere. He should have been he should have had his own franchise at some point. Like he should have been in a romantic comedy. Like this dude has range and we clearly just never got to see it. He got pinned down as Data. Isn't this game Data?
Oh yeah, in the Goonies. Yeah, he's wearing Data's belt
and short round.
What was the Disney Family show he was on?
Oh, I don't remember.
The like Monkey King thing.
Oh yeah, Monkey King.
Oh,
Yeah.
Monkey King, right? Was that it?
No, yeah, it's called
It's an American Born Chinese. Yeah.
American Born Chinese, right. It's just about the Monkey King
like,
story. Okay.
But like we were deprived of years of Ke Huy Quan, and he suffered too. Like he felt like he's like, what happened to my career? He quit acting, and it's all bullshit. We should have had so much more of him.
Oh yeah.
And Hollywood fucked us over, and they fucked him over too. And so it was great to see him on Loki.
American Born Chinese has a whole storyline where he plays an actor in a different, like he's an actor. He's the actor in that background show that they keep showing.
Yeah,
and they bring that back around of like how they have a reunion show, and he was like, well, I couldn't be I wanted to be the hero, the astronaut, the fucking cowboy, and those roles were denied for me, so I had to be the guy who's what could go wrong was my
oh no, that's
remember?
Right. Oh man. Yeah.
He gets hit on the head like, oh geez.
All right, let's go over to number 8. Number 8 is Muppets Mayhem, also on Disney Plus. This is on the list, largely on the strength of Nick dragging it on there, but actually, I think we all really like this one.
I see it in your contenders too.
It's my number 7.
Yeah, it's in my contenders.
No, I'm sorry, it's my number 5.
I think it's my number 3.
Yeah.
I don't think I could change anything about this show to improve it, to make it more Muppety than I like. This is, since the original Muppet movie, this is the best portrayal of the Muppets I have ever seen.
Yeah,
I agree.
When we talk about the MonsterVerse taking tone correctly and moving forward with this, forget everything that else has been done in the last 15 years, just 20 years maybe. Just go off this Muppet property.
And we should say, like, that doesn't sound. It is apparently incredibly hard. We've had plenty of attempts at it.
Very hard, yeah.
Apparently, it is very hard to do.
Yeah, but this was great fun. And it's a bummer they just announced they're not doing a season 2. Which, I don't know that I needed a season 2.
I wasn't expecting one.
I wasn't really expecting one, but I hope the team behind it does something else similar.
Yeah. This made me love the Muppets in a way that I haven't since I was a kid, and I thought they did a great job with it.
Lips being a fucking IT, like the IT guy, or like the Steve Jobs like TED. He's having a lips talk, TED talk.
Yeah.
Number 7 on our list is Star Trek Lower Decks. I've come around on this one to where y'all are. I was a little bit skeptical of this early on, but every season it's gotten stronger and stronger. And this season, with Talin joining as a regular,
Yes.
and all the stuff they did on Orion, was great. And then that final, bringing in a very obscure bad guy, played by not Tom Paris.
Oh yeah, the other one.
I don't see the resemblance.
It looks just like him.
Yeah, bring it back. Will Wheaton for a second for a voice actor. Like this season was a great season of a great show.
Yep. And also, I gotta admit, part of what put it on my radar a little more was the crossover with Strange New Worlds.
That was also absolutely
live
amazing.
action.
God,
yeah, I was like, oh, I do like these characters.
That's what got me to go back and watch Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. It is honestly, Strange New Worlds for me is the best Star Trek, but it's on right now. But Lower Decks is easily the second best, and it's. There are some people who just cannot stand it. They don't like the humor aspect of it, the Rick and Mortiness of it, and I get that. I think that's a fair complaint. But
many people are wrong.
It loves Star Trek in a way that nobody else loves Star Trek. It loves every bit of Star Trek.
Oh,
from the weird ass animated series all the way through Enterprise. Like they love all of it.
Every moment they take Star Trek down a peg or make fun of it, there's 2 moments where they are unmitigated in love with the previous
where they somehow make something cool.
Where
they somehow make something cool again that shouldn't be, or cool for the first time that shouldn't be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Also, this season is back to, because I thought season 3 had a weird the weird episode, like penultimate episode in the last season was where everyone was mad at Mariner, and it felt a little forced. It was the only time where I'm like, oh, wow, this feels a little bit weird. And this episode, other than I think the cave episode was, but even then it didn't feel raw. Like no character was inconsistent or anything like that. So I think for me, it was back to form for this season.
Yeah.
And Talin being as Vulcan as a motherfucker.
Yes. Number 6 is Gen V on Prime, the spinoff of The Boys.
Holy shit!
Another surprise. Like I love The Boys. I did not think I was going to love a spinoff.
I didn't even expect this to be good.
No, I honestly didn't even expect it to be good.
I
hoped it would be watchable, and it's fucking fantastic.
It's great. It takes everything about that world and gives us a super's perspective on it, and in so doing, it's just a slightly off to the left version of what The Boys is doing, and it just really works.
Yeah.
Me and Les, did we talk about this on the podcast? But we figured out why the finale and Emily as a character works for us. Is that her name? Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Emma,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, it's because she's Rumor if she didn't suck.
Yeah.
Kate. You're talking about Kate.
Kate.
Emma's
the growing one.
Emma's the shrinking.
Emma's
one.
the shrinky girl one.
Yeah.
And Kate is the power one. Well, yeah. So Kate is Rumor if the writers knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but Kate is also Rumor as more of a sociopath.
Oh yeah, no, Kate's insane.
Well, yeah, but they fully earned that. They don't expect me to go back and forth and feel sympathy for her, like what Rumor was that last. What was that last season of Umbrella Academy doing with Rumor?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kate's a hero now.
Yeah, man.
That ending.
This made me love this. I loved this more than The Boys, and it did the job of not making me turn. That could have made me turn away from The Boys, and instead it dovetails perfectly back in, and I am so fucking ready for season 4 now.
Actually,
same. I cannot wait to see season 4 of The Boys, and part of that is because of the ending of this.
Oh my god!
And they're just perfect deployment of Homelander.
Yes.
You know what they've done?
Yeah.
They're the first universe in all time that has pulled a Marvel and intertwined its two interconnected properties and treated it as
this
a
is
commercial
what Agents
for
of
the
S.H.I.E.L.D.
other
wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, it's time for the top 5. And our number 5 is What We Do in the Shadows. Latest season of this was spectacular. Just
yeah.
It started out a little slow, and then it got great.
The only reason it wasn't on my list was that, it wasn't on higher on my list. It was on my list, but not as high.
Yeah.
Was I thought this season they didn't have a stronger through line of like the previous seasons. They had the council, or they were running the council, or like the house they were trying to fix up.
I think they were deliberately scattered a little bit.
Yeah, and what brought it together was I feel like this is the final season.
I think it might be too.
Because they really seem to come together to deal with Guillermo turning into a vampire.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which feels like the thing they've been dangling since like at least his arc from the start.
Yeah.
Now he knows he doesn't want to be one. His real arc is his love with Nandor. But
yeah.
Like I feel like we're waiting for that ball to drop, like on Good Omens. Like we're waiting for that subtext to become text.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4 is the second season of the After Party on Apple Plus. I think we are 3 of the only people who watch and love this show. I never hear anybody talking about it.
I'll die on this fucking hill.
It's so good. It's so good.
The only reason the only reason it didn't make number 2 on my list is that it had a dud of an episode this year. The found footage fucking episode. I thought
that kind of revealed that like, oh, your premise doesn't work like this. Don't do this.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the things like, oh, this is the opposite of your premise. Your premise is supposed to be through the lens of a ridiculous character, and this is reality. And
yeah. But also like they added a bunch of new characters, all of whom were great. We didn't even talk about Elizabeth Perkins. Like she was great here, and she was great in season 2 of The Minx. Like phenomenal year for her.
She's the comedy version of Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Just
yes. Oh yeah. In Fargo.
Can she play something other than an Uber bitch? I mean, maybe.
Why?
Maybe we'll see that someday.
Why would you want to?
I don't know.
She's so good at it.
I'd like a Jessica Walters type. What about Jessica Walters? That'd be great. Like,
works for us.
Like I want an Elizabeth Perkins type. Great. Here she comes.
But Ken Jeong, really funny, really good.
John Cho tearing it up.
Yeah, John Cho. I think the Wes Anderson style episode was one of my favorites, but there's a lot of good ones.
Oh, that was that one was real fun.
And Tiffany Haddish's 90s romance.
Oh, her Basic Instinct riff.
Silk Stocking.
That was great.
Basic Instinct, yeah.
One likes the wax, one like the smacks. What?
Yeah. Yeah. And it plays fair with the audience. Like, it's better than, I think Only Murders gets, it has Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely better than Only Murders.
Yeah. I agree.
It puts the work in.
It's doing a similar thing, and it does it better.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get a third season of this. I would love it if we did, but if not, second season was great. Number 3 on the list, My Adventures with Superman. I am shocked how much I loved a Superman anime-influenced cartoon. I really didn't think I wanted another Superman cartoon. The Superman animated series is kind of like perfect enough for me.
Yeah.
But man, did they nail a new take.
I went from thinking this might be cute to being like, Jesus Christ, is this the best done Superman story I've ever seen since Reeves?
Yeah.
The only I really went back and forth. This might have been my number 1 this year, but
wow.
Ted Lasso. I didn't get to go back and watch Ted Lasso, like, because Randy, you said that it is the weaker of the 3 seasons, and I don't remember.
It is the weakest of 3 seasons, but it's still great.
Because I didn't rewatch it, so maybe if I had watched it, I would have like put it, because I'm still riding high off of My Adventures with Superman being like, I love that it's named My Adventure with Superman, because Superman is honestly not the main. He's one of the mains, but Lois Lane is as much of. Man, when they do the League of Loises, like that's.
Oh yeah!
What a great way to bring in a multiverse without doing the normal thing you do.
Right.
It's about Lois and Clark and Jimmy, and they're all great characters.
And how they do each villain, and how they're working them into like
their Parasite is fantastic.
Yeah, and it all stacks up and brings in more, like so that Nick and I are, oh man, when we realized that one of those symbols had been there the whole time, and we. Like, has it been playing fair? And we flip back and we're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, we just were.
And we also
I guess
they play fair with the audience, and they did the Mike Schur thing of there'll always be more story. Let's just tell our story.
Yeah.
And so the reveal of his identity to Lois, the reveal that Jimmy always knew and just didn't tell him. There's so many great moments in that.
Dude, you ripped out the door and tried to blame it on the screws. Could have been the screws. It opens in Clark. Damn it!
Didn't wait. You told her before you told me, but you knew.
But you already knew. That is not the same.
You tell. It's not the same.
Oh man,
yeah.
that Monsieur Mala and the brain episode. What a fucking
yeah,
amazing.
so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Oh man, I almost cried. I swear to God, like me and Les watched this together, and we both teared up at when the lights go out. They draw the power from the city, and Superman has to it hears everyone in the city basically egg him on and believe in him.
Yeah, that's a great moment.
It's one of those that could have been it's what Zack Snyder does not want to do.
Nope. Yep.
And I'm here to tell you, for me, that is Superman. If you're not doing that, we're not doing a 100%. Superman story.
Yep. And that's the other thing is this starts off and it's a young Superman and he's not fully confident and he's not who he is yet, but it still is Superman.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's still Superman, and that's what works. That's one of the things that works about the show.
What they do change for the origin makes it actually interesting going forward too, as far as what man, it even introduces it Jor-El being making the Kryptonian tech a scary thing that he was terrified of as a child.
It threads a needle and does some stuff that honestly, you're trying to do a property that's this old and this familiar, you shouldn't be able to do any of this and it worked.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Sure.
I love it so much.
Cannot wait for more.
Whoever says there's not a good Superman story to tell can suck a dick.
Our number 2 show is Poker Face on Peacock, which I think everybody expected this to be great, so it's not surprising that it's great. But Rian Johnson directing every episode, or at least most of them.
I think it might be every episode.
I think it's every one. I don't know if he gave up any control for.
And then Natasha Lyonne basically playing Columbo.
Yeah.
Yep.
They deliberately wanted to set out to make episodic TV. Like it's got an arc, sort of, but it's basically every episode is an episode.
Yeah.
And every episode was so good. Like there's, like you said, there's one that stumbled a little bit, but even that one's good.
Yeah. No,
he directed the first 2, then other people, and then he directed episode 9, Escape from Shit Mountain. But then Natasha Lyonne directed one. Lucky McKee.
They had a stunning supporting cast they bring in for their. I mean, this is like this. They were like, yeah, we've got kind of A-list clout. Let's bring in A-list actors, and they told really interesting mystery stories every week.
With great casts for guest characters, and I liked what they did with the even their premise of okay, so she can tell when people are lying, but we learn over the course of episodes there's limitations to that. There's when someone believes something to be true, she can't detect it, even if it might not be true. If they believe, if it's she's not
could
psychic.
know wrong. Yeah.
Also, if you say there was the Rocker episode where they say too many things at once, and she can tell one of them's a lie, but not which they introduce interesting limitations to that power and how it plays to further the story. It's not like they're cheating. It's not like they're changing her power to work it.
They're just doing clever writing so that it doesn't always just end the show. Yeah. No, it's a fun premise. But honestly, even without the premise of her lie detection thing, this would work as a standalone mystery show.
Oh yeah, I just like her, like Kane in Kung Fu, just walk the earth, helping people.
Yeah, walk the earth.
I love Natasha Lyonne is the perfect person for being roped in to help a person she doesn't really want to help, but God damn it, they're the person this week that I attached to. So fuck.
Yeah. The only person.
I love the moment, 15 minutes into every episode or 20, where you realize where she's been through it.
Yeah, we've been seeing somebody else's story, and then she enters,
and you realize that she's been in the background of this thing the whole time. Like she's who made the noise in the corner earlier.
I think that was one of the more clever elements. It was fun each episode to where she is in this, because they always have to. And now here's her side of it. I think my favorite one was when they run into the killers run into someone on the road, and I think I turned to Les. I'm like, hey, how funny would it be if that was oh shit.
Yep. That's that Joseph Gordon-Levitt episode, which is a great episode. Yeah,
that's right. It was the one.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you got to tip your Uber driver when you're in that location. There's one guy.
Right.
Like you got to tip your what was it, DoorDash or whatever Grubhub thing they were doing.
Yes, yeah, you got to.
Man, that's a
especially if
mistake,
you're a
man.
billionaire. Yeah. All right, our number one show. Nick kind of alluded to it, but Ted Lasso coming in with a final season.
And it could have been number 1 and number 2 if it'd been good this season.
If it's somehow been good. Yeah. I think we're all boggled by the critical
I will
turn on
remain
this show.
bitter and confused by this until my deathbed.
You will notice Invincible was nowhere near anyone's top 20 or contenders.
God, no.
Like
I'm not even watching Invincible.
It's not even on this page anywhere. Yeah.
We are the last people on. Like, I feel like every time I'm looking online or whatever, and everyone's talking about how good Invincible is and how that when Ted Lasso was on, it was like how good Invincible was and how Ted Lasso lost its way. And I was like, mother, I am not living in the same world as everyone else.
Nick got excited because he found an online critique of a portion of Invincible, and then the video ended with, "But thankfully everything else in the show is perfect." So
mad.
So yeah, I just rewatched this with some friends in 3 chunks, and that is the flaw. I think people argue about the episodes are a little overlong. They probably could have cut some stories and trimmed it down and made it tighter. Having rewatched it now, I will compare it to season. It is season 1 is the best Ted Lasso season. Season 2 is the second best season. Season 3 is the third best season. Like, that is true.
Okay.
But the third best season of Ted Lasso is still the best show on television.
Yeah.
I think, man, there's some storylines that maybe the Keeley stuff, maybe you could cut. I feel like we spend the exact right amount of time with Nate in order to get me over on his character side again.
I think you're right. I think they could have cut down Rebecca's psychic story. I'm not sure how much it's needed.
Right.
But it does pay off really well.
Yeah.
I think some people may be bitter because Sam and her don't have to go together, which they weren't supposed to. Like, no. I think that was Sam and Rebecca don't wind up together.
No, but that relationship was growth for both of them, but not to end up together. Doing it was growth for both of them.
I feel like they left that open on season 1 for it to possibly come back into it. I feel like the writing was a little more open-ended, but by the start of season 3, I think they had that locked in.
It's clear they weren't doing that. Yeah. Yeah. I think Keeley's PR story kind of been cut back a little bit, but I think it mostly works. I think the Keeley, Roy, Jamie stuff was really good.
Oh my gosh.
Jamie's arc in the season.
Jamie's arc in the show.
Fantastic in the show. But this season is like, when you start seeing him be the team player, and be the guy who's listening, and you're like, holy
his full
shit,
transformation. We saw it in we started starting last season, but
this season it's there.
This season he becomes the maestro of the team. You know, everyone played through me, and I was like, whoa! What a great it's unselfish football that he's playing.
Yeah. Thematically, it is the story. It's the story. Ted came in, he was the selfish prick, and Ted changed him for the better, and that radiated out to everybody.
Yes,
like that is a huge thematic, important thing.
Roy,
and I think that
Roy becoming a diamond dog.
Yes,
Jamie's transformation, Nate's transformation, Ted's transformation. Like, this season brought it all home in a way that, like, it not only remained a great season of television, it stuck a landing on maybe the greatest show going. I honestly,
the use of Trent Grimm this season was good. The Colin story was good.
Yeah, I loved all of it.
Trent and Colin, I thought I'm like, man, this could have felt extraneous and unneeded.
Yeah,
but I really liked Trent. Trent being sold on Ted in the first season was one of the bigger arcs I liked, and I thought, like maybe Trent's story was done, but bringing him back for the book, I thought was, oh shit, he's also now part of the story. He's become part of what inspired him to love football again. And I thought, like, oh shit, this is Trent's happy ending.
Yeah, for sure. And also,
he becomes part of Roy's arc.
It's a small bit, but him and Roy is a really great moment, and points out that, like, one of the things I love about Ted Lasso is nobody's perfect in it. Like, all of them have flaws, from Ted to Beard to Trent and Roy, and everybody has flaws. But they're all essentially good people. It's of a piece with the good place.
Except for Rupert.
Rupert.
Even Rupert. They gave him that moment where they talked about him being
right.
They did give him
Like-
a moment when they were
Like
together.
mostly he's Darth Vader the entire season. And it's hilarious, but
Yeah.
but they gave him a moment where you're like, oh, I see where Rebecca fell for this guy.
They did give us that moment so we could.
Yeah.
It sold that relationship, but then he's back by the end of it to being a Sith Lord. What was he? His costuming for this season was like,
Man,
what are you doing?
They're like, we want to make sure people know. So he's gonna wear a long flowing black robe.
You run a football team, not an Imperial destroyer.
He works in the Death Star. Yeah. No, it's and Sam's restaurant and the way that all goes, and they touch on immigration stuff. There's so much works about this show.
They bring back a Kimba. What was his fucking the South African?
Oh man, yeah, yep, yeah.
Played by Sam Richardson,
the billionaire. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That I thought was great.
Yeah, he was great, and that guy got some range because he plays a complete billionaire prick on here, and then the ultimate nice guy.
He's the sweetest guy ever in everything else I've ever seen him in.
Love him.
Yeah.
And also, in his role in Veep is very different too, and his role in Werewolves Within. He's great in everything he's in. So,
honestly, his villain is even kind of. His villain is so evil. He's kind of cute again. Like
yeah. I mean, yeah. You're like, oh, you're just a little boy.
I will burn down your house and shit in the ashes. Like
also Zava. One of these things that I think some people might argue you could have cut out the whole Zava thing, but you'd be missing so many great jokes. And he is based on a real player, which I think is even more.
And he's I think he's there at the start of the season to show us how far Jamie's already come.
To show Jamie, yes, he's there,
and then to show how far, and he's still going to go so much further.
Yeah,
yeah. He's the in that Loki episode where Loki looks around and goes like, all these unevolved Lokis biting each other's alligators' fucking hands off or whatever. That's Zava for Jamie's like, wow, this guy seems like kind of a prick, and everyone in the football like, yep.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real bummer to be playing with someone that egocentric. Jamie's so dumb. Yeah, right? I'm glad you guys get it.
So I have to ask an important question. Ultimate villain of Ted Lasso, the worst villain. Is it Rupert or is it Dr. Jacob?
So Dr. Jacob is not on the show enough, but maybe if they give him more time,
fuck that guy forever though.
But the one thing he's shown doing is like, that is an ethical that's not
my lord.
Right.
And they even talk about he was her therapist first.
Yeah.
And then became their couple's therapist.
What would you call that show? Is that shrinkage?
That's yes.
That's the only reason I'd give him a pass on it is that we see from her episode early, and I think in season 1 that she just fell out of like, and that happens with like I don't feel the same way about you, and she feels devastated because there's like there's nothing wrong with you, like in one level you're kind of perfect, and
but I think they weakened her character as a result because they showing her fall for that dude, the worst Ted Lasso.
No, it makes him scummy to have asked, and it makes her kind of shitty to have said yes.
To have said yes, yeah.
His therapist even says, seems like a pretty fucking ethical violation to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, that's.
Yeah,
you do things in the state there, Ted, but
I can't quite raise it to the level of mistake, but it's borderline for me because I'm like, man, you almost ruined her character, and that almost ruins their reconciliation.
She's not as much of a character, but I think I'm interested to see had they gotten more story another season or something, if they had gone, because that relationship needs more to make me think that he's not a predator, like feeding off of a vulnerable, like I'm like, or at least show that he's definitely got to be a rebound guy, like you were there when the marriage was breaking apart. You knew exactly what to say to get basically she got to list you a reason of like, what are you looking for in your marriage, and basically use that against her.
So tell me what you're sick of right now.
It's fucking
it's fucked.
It's squicky. It's not good, but it's not it's not on screen. So I think
that's what makes it work. Yeah.
So I think Rupert comes off as Rupert. We know Rupert's malicious and in doing it intentionally.
Yep.
Like that's not up for debate. Like he is a monster.
I'm curious. Do you guys think the reconciliation at the end? Do you think Ted and his wife are back together, or do you think they are co-parents and friends?
I think they're
Co-parents and
just
friends.
co-parents and friends, but that may be me being hopeful.
I agree.
They did a lot of work showing how they were not right for each other anymore, but they were they were good at being parents, and
that may also just be what I really, really want for the show. I do not want them back together. That would be a bad arc.
That's where I am too. And I think it's interesting they didn't more definitively spell that out. Like, we don't definitively see that Jacob isn't in their life anymore. We just know that he is.
The only way to definitively spell it out without saying it in that last like soccer game we see them at is to have Sassy Smurf there, and that doesn't also doesn't kind of doesn't make sense.
Quite work.
Right.
I do wish though, or you know what, or even have, and it would have been hard to do, but if she had a boyfriend and he had a girlfriend there. Just like new people, new characters.
Right.
Bring in some good actors.
Okay.
Bring in some, bring in Nick Offerman or somebody
stunt cast.
Just to have them standing near a different person,
someone who's good,
just enough to know
good in their life.
I did love Sassy Smurf shutting him down.
Can't believe Ted hooked up with Helen Mirren.
Right. I did love Sassy Smurf just like, oh Jesus, no, you're a mess.
No, you're a mess. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
She's like, I'm a mess too.
I'm a mess too. I just
further along. Yeah.
I'm 3 years ahead of you on this though.
That was great.
I think maybe, or should Ted have come by and is now dating his therapist? Ha ha. Wait, I think no. So now we have two people that have ethically violated.
Yeah, that would be the worst. Actually, that'd be so terrible.
Then the therapist dates Dr. Jacob.
If I were giving notes to one of the most perfect shows ever, and I wouldn't dare, that would be a note. Would be like, can we show that they both have other relationships now? That
because I don't want them back together.
Because I don't want them back together either, and I don't think they show them back together.
No, I don't think they do.
Well, they show them both at that soccer game, and I get why, because they'd both be there. There's no reason.
But to me, that's showing that you're grown up enough to co-parent.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why not show Dr. Jacob? Because because it's a nice moment, and we all hate him. So don't show him in that final moment.
I think Dr. Jacob's out of her life. I think he was such a shit during that final game.
That game, I think, is when he ended his shit. With
dude,
them.
I remember we watched that relationship die.
You do.
Because both she and Henry keep giving him dirty looks. Like, what the fuck are you doing
is your problem, man?
He's on his phone. He's drinking his beer. He's being a shit. Like, you don't belong.
Just leave,
here.
dude.
Dude, if you're not even gonna put the effort, like you're a therapist, put the effort into making us believe you care about this. That's your whole thing.
Clearly the worst therapist.
Yeah. But great show. Before the writer's strike, I would have thought that a spinoff focusing on the female Greyhounds would have been a hole in one, like whatever the soccer term is, a goal in one,
or just even just a Richmond show.
Well, a Richmond show, but I think the focus is going to be on. I think that's going to be the spin of it. Would be the Greyhounds are the popular team, and the female Greyhounds have to compete against that, and there'd be a little bit of rivalry amongst the two of them. I also think my friend Kyle, who I watched the show, he watched it several times. He saw some of the episodes with me. He thinks that the female soccer player who they use so often, but who really has no arc, she doesn't go anywhere, that she would be central to a new season. She would be one of the new Greyhounds. Oh shit, that's good.
The one that kind of shows up and talks with Ted. Yeah, I remember who you're talking about. Sure.
Yeah, if she was one of the players, I'm like, that would make sense as to why they were laying that groundwork.
Okay,
a little bit, but I don't know. Post writer's strike, I don't know how likely it is they do any more of this. But I still kind of hope they do. I don't know that I want. I would hate for them to go Scrubs Med on this and have a disappointing season after.
Yeah.
But even that, but the problem with Scrubs Med is that they tried to bring in Turk and JD. Most of that show worked, and I think Ted Lasso wouldn't make the same mistake because I don't think Ted would be in it. He might be in one.
Maybe
episode.
Don't bring in new characters. Maybe just make some new maybe have Colin and Danny Rojas actually be more focused characters that are growing.
Oh, see, I disagree. I think I would do almost like I say. I would make half the show about these new female Greyhounds.
Okay,
and about Keely and Rebecca running that. And how that affects her playing while the Greyhounds are trying to go for the actual championship that they didn't get.
I'm just trying to think of how do we bring in our series regulars that we already love?
Well, I think Trent could Trent could be writing another book.
Or Jamie and
Greyhounds.
Roy's already a coach, so he just
Roy and Beard and Nate are coaching Richmond.
Yes, yeah, okay.
You've got the Richmond story, but they're almost a B story, and their story is they didn't get the championship because Man United won the championship.
Again, I don't understand how soccer works.
This is them trying to actually get the championship they deserve. So they've still got a goal to achieve.
Because they won by not by enough?
But not by but because Manchester had a better record overall.
Okay.
And so you could do that and then have the female Greyhounds having like a rough season and everyone being more interested in this like new thing than these guys having like the season of their lives and where that goes and how that interests. And Roy and Keeley could be having stress about that because Keeley's so focused on promoting the Grey. Like you could totally do a season of this. I don't know if I want it or not. I feel like the ending was so good. But if they do it, I won't be disappointed. If they don't do it, I won't be disappointed, which is kind of the perfect place to be.
If they do it, I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah.
My initial instinct is let it lie.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the right way to go.
But after seeing, Justified come back and, like, it was while
Party
still a mess,
Down.
I really, and Party Down, like, they don't all fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it.
And even seeing Gen Z having a whole new cast of characters in the same universe that is also pretty female-centric.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, well, that is 2023 for us. That's our top 20. We hope you all have enjoyed this. Y'all, let's go get some sleep, get rested. We're going to try out our experimental time travel technology tomorrow. I'm very excited. And until 1987...
TV dudes?
Dudes out! We're just trying to play chicken.
Out! The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener-supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.